Probably rightfully so,
Yeah.
because we would have a lot to say about it. Right. Now, let's look at the regional power, India,
Hmm.
which now President AKD has done a bit of a job balancing India and China.
Hmm.
Um, and of course, India is very, very important to Sri Lanka, especially economically. How do you see this going forward? Especially now you had certain a little bump in the road with perhaps the Adani issue, but again, let's hope it's just a small bump in the road, that there is a greater relationship between the countries, and that would go forward. What's your view of Indo-Sri Lankan?
I think it'll remain because the government here also knows the significance, the importance of being good neighborly, relations with India. But given the ideological background of this party that is in office, their closeness to China and all of that makes the relationship with India a bit strenuous. But however tough it is, however challenging it is, I think both sides will somehow pull it through, because there is no other option for us to be, good neighbors to India, and for India to treat its closest neighbor well. So that I think will be there. But on and off, as you say, with Adani projects pulling out, there may be various issues that have the potential of souring the relations. But I don't think it will be soured.
No, what about investment per se? Now, during the Ranil Wickremesinghe presidency, there was a lot of talk about Indian investment into Sri Lanka. That was the buzz. But after the NPP came to office, that buzz has subsided somewhat. Doesn't mean that projects aren't happening, but that rush to invest doesn't seem to be there.
Yeah, that's because NPP's position is that there must be a tender process. There can't be, favoritism and given for various other reasons. So then there is it seems to be a lull as a result. But I think they are right so that you present a level playing field to everyone, have a competitive bid, and choose who's going to invest.
And the country doesn't lose out.
The country doesn't lose out also, yes. But some world players from elsewhere seem to think that no, that doesn't work like that. It's all boy network kind of thing, and we must get along. So there is an ideological sort of distance between how these things are done. So those are challenges to the new government, certainly, because their alignment, even if they deny that it is with China, it's certainly not with India. But India is somebody they can't ignore. They have to work with India. They have to be forced to work with India. China, you might be able to because of the distance, but here we are just 30 kilometers away. So, knowing these realities, I don't think relationship with India will, greatly suffer. There may be occasional, issues, but there is not going to be a total breakdown.